leaders with the National Cattlemen's Beef Association recently met with British trade officials to expand opportunities for U.S. beef abroad. NCBA President Don Schiefelbein joins us now for a recap. Don, thank you so much for being here. I know you're a busy man, so we appreciate your time. Let's talk about the meeting in the UK. What inroads are being made for trade between the U.S. and Britain?
Yeah, I think the first thing we have to do is kind of break down misconceptions, and that's part of the strategy we had getting with them, is developing relationships and make sure they understand the true story behind U.S. beef, the way it was raised, and why it's a nice opportunity for UK consumers. So that was basically our gist, is how can we position U.S. beef for the great product it is to the United Kingdom.
You know, Britain's ambassador, and I'm glad you brought that up, Dame Karen Pierce, highlighted that sustainability goals set by NCBA were important to them. So that seemed to be top of mind.
Absolutely. You know, they have a whole list of things they say and list as items that we want to ensure that beef is before it comes in. But I'll tell you, Suzanne, it's amazing what has changed over the last 2 weeks. You know, the discussions of sustainability and climate smart have been displaced with terms like food security and energy security. And they're looking at the partners they currently have as being their largest trade partners are Russia, China, and Ukraine. And maybe it makes sense to have a trading partner that has more shared values like the United States. So it's made a real shift, if you will, in terms of who they ought to be trading with and why it's smart from a food security standpoint to trade with the United States.
You know, Don, we talk about trade, and as you said, you know, they're talking about sustainability, but the other topic being the challenges with supply chain, and I'm sure all of this seemed to be tackled in this meeting.
Absolutely. You know, they are really struggling, and you could just tell they're wondering how we can make sure we get the food necessary. So I think it's all hands on deck in terms of making sure they knock down barriers in their supply chain just to get food to their consumers, which, as you know, the last month or so is disrupted entirely, not to withstand also all the COVID implications.
Right. Hey, Don, before we wrap, a bipartisan group of senators has rolled out an update on the cattle price market discovery bill, that is. What are your thoughts there? I mean, effectively, how do you see this being implemented throughout the year?
Well, you know, Fisher and Grassley have been strong advocates for animal agriculture, and we appreciate all their efforts. As you know, there's one provision in there that causes great pause and causes us some reluctance to support, and that is this requirement that market barriers be in place and mandate prices in certain areas. And as you know, when you start having the government mandate, it sounds real good when you say, let's have a mandate on packers. But anytime a trade occurs, as you know, a trade occurs between both a packer and a producer. So if you're mandating packers, you're also mandating producers. And we just have a real hard time with taking away the economic freedom that allows our producers to decide how to market their cattle.
Absolutely. Don, thank you so much for your time. President of National Cattlemen's Beef Association, Don Schiefelbein, always a pleasure.